Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. My name is Liliana Hernandez and this is my cooking show.
There are many varieties of bread cake, but this one I'm going to make today is the Venezuelan style bread cake. So, what is bread cake? It is a recipe we make in Venezuela using leftover bread from a meal. That bread becomes hard and then we make use of it. However, I tell you that it doesn't necessarily have to be hard, but it originated from hard bread. So let's make the most of that leftover bread from our meal and prepare this delicious bread cake. So, comencemos. You can also find the ingredients in the video description. Preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Start by cutting our bread into small pieces, either with a knife or by hand, depending on whether we are using stale or fresh bread, because we can use either of the two. The only difference is that if we use fresh bread, we will soak it in milk for less time. And that is if we want our cake to have an ordinary consistency, where you can feel the bread pieces. On the other hand, if we want a smooth consistency, it doesn't matter how long we soak our bread in milk. Let's add the milk to our bread until it is completely soaked. I mix these ingredients in my blender, but you could also do it by hand. I add the eggs, salt, cinnamon, condensed milk. Here I have my raisins soaking in liqueur, and I added a little instant coffee. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of this liquid to my mixture and then strain them to remove all the liquid. I'm also going to add a delicious flavor, which is liquid panela or piloncillo or papelón, as it's called in some countries. I also add some vanilla and blend all these ingredients. Here we have our bread. It is completely soaked. And there are different ways to do this, and you can decide which one you want to do, one way or another. For example, I can add all the mixture I just blended, or I can take all this bread and blend it just in case we want a flan-like texture, completely compact. We could blend everything and bake it. Or if, on the contrary, you prefer a more textured bread cake where you can feel the bread pieces, then we leave it like that. I also could do half and half, blend some bread and leave the other as it is. This time, I will leave it as it is. So, what we do is add the mixture we blended. It's the turn to add our strained raisins. Start to integrate everything very well. This is a good time to taste the sweetness of our mixture. If necessary, you can add some condensed milk. And now our mixture is ready to be put into our mold. Grease our mold with butter. The mold I'm using is approximately 10 inches or 25 centimeters. I pour all my mixture into the mold and use my palette to flatten it a bit to make it even. And now our cake is ready to go into the oven, which is already preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we are going to leave it for about 45 minutes. But the important thing is to know when it is done. For this, we are going to insert a toothpick or a knife, and if it comes out clean, it means our cake is done. So let's put it in the oven. Despite my oven indicating that it is at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, I always like to have an auxiliary thermometer to verify that temperature. Now I place my mold on the middle rack and set my timer for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, I'm going to check if my cake is done. I'm going to insert this rod and look, it comes out completely dry. So our cake is done. And here you can see it up close. And here we have our cake just taking out of the oven. Look how it feels on top, dried and at the same time fluffy. That's another way to know it is done. Now with this spatula, I'm going to help to separate it a bit from the edge of my mold. And put it on this rack to cool down so I can later unmold it. It is still warm, but I won't burn myself. So we will unmold it because it can be eaten hot or cold, and it is equally delicious. So we put it on our plate, turn it over, and here we go. I felt it fall. Cross the fingers, please, and look. Here we have our delicious bread cake. There are many options to serve our bread cake. It will depend on each person's taste. Here I have a little panela or panela syrup, and we could sprinkle a little on top or just on the part we are going to serve. Another option is to cook it with caramel made in the mold. Pour the mixture there and bake it as if it were a quesillo, that is a Venezuelan flan. And if you want to know how to make caramel, here I will leave you the link of how to make my quesillo, where I make caramel. Let's cook it. Look, it is a completely soft texture, very soft. Look at this delight. Oh, look at the sides. Still steaming. Look how soft the cake is. And it smells, oh my gosh, it's so delicious. So I'm going to add just a little bit more of my panela syrup on top, a few drops. But if you like more, go for it. And let's taste how our bread cake turned out. Oh, look, soft, super soft. Let's spread a little panela. So delicious.
If you like this video, please continue supporting me with a thumb up, subscribing to my channel, sharing these recipes, and don't forget to activate the bell so I can notify you immediately I publish another delicious recipe. Thank you for watching me and see you next video. Bye!